Hi there, and welcome back to Model Horses, of course, with some terrific technical terminology this time. I have two horses here, Tale of Two Horses, and the interesting discussion point of the day is what they are made of. On the left, we have the JCPenney Special Run Limited Edition 1991 Galaxias, and on the right, we have the 1994 Spanish Barb from the Evolution of the Horse series. The reason that I put these two horses in a video together is so that we can talk about what they're made of. Galaxias and several other horses in that era, there was a Misty and a Sherman Morgan, were marketed by Breyer of being crafted of cold cast porcelain. It was all over the box, all over the advertising. Cold cast porcelain. The horse on the right is made of fine porcelain. What is the difference between these two materials? When you say, well, we'll start with porcelain because fine porcelain has been produced for a very long time. It is actually a ceramic or clay powder that is liquefied, poured into a mold. The mold itself absorbs a lot of the water. The horse comes out of the mold as what's called whiteware and then is fired in a kiln to 2,400 degrees Fahrenheit, plus or minus a few. So they are extremely sturdy. The heat actually affects the molecules of the ceramic porcelain and makes them extremely sturdy. Then when you bring that whiteware out after the first firing, you start applying glaze colors that then you put back in the kiln to fire back on. The end product is an extremely sturdy one. It is relatively tough. If you clink them, if they stand next to each other, fine porcelain is sturdy. They're very resistant to scuffs, very resistant to general poor handling. If you drop them on a floor, they will break. But I have seen at least once a little fine porcelain stablemate we were trying to break purposely, throwing it at the concrete, and he was stubbornly surviving. It is a very sturdy material. The color that's applied to it is applied and sticks very well. It's a very sturdy creation. The horse on the left is made of something called cold cast porcelain. Makes you think it is similar to porcelain. It's in the name, right? No. Cold cast porcelain is a combination, a liquefied combination of resin and porcelain that is poured into a mold and sets itself without heat. So it is not fired. The base of the model, or whatever it is that you're making of cold cast porcelain, it just solidifies itself over time. When it's taken out, it's got a terminology similar to whiteware. You apply paint similar to any other piece that's being painted, but that paint is also not fired. Cold cast porcelain pieces are not as sturdy as porcelain. They are indeed not even similar in composition, materials, or sturdiness. They are super heavy. The paint is fragile. It's what sunk the Breyer cold cast porcelain experiment. Almost all of the horses that came out, except for Galaxias, had major flaws and would fall apart if you looked at them cross-eyed. So cold cast porcelain is not the same thing as fine porcelain. So what does this mean? How can you tell them apart? Well, one, the marketing. Like I said, Breyer marketed the heck out of these pieces as cold cast porcelain, and I see lots of collectibles advertised as that. Totally fine. Lots of things are made of it. It's obviously, this guy's Galaxias has survived since 1991, but you just need to know what he's made of. The fine porcelain, they're still making porcelains today. They have generally gone away from the cold cast porcelain and gone to straight resin. So almost all of the non-porcelain, I think they're called gallery series Breyers, are now made of just resin. How can you tell the difference if they're not in a box or don't have a sticker or something else? The first thing is the weight. The cold cast porcelain is solid cast. Those puppies are heavy. The porcelains are hollow cast. They're much lighter. I weighed these two. The Spanish Barb weighs 15 ounces. The Galaxius weighs 1 pound, 15 ounces. All you have to do is pick them up. The one that feels like a doorstop is the cold cast porcelain. Second thing, if you're still a little on the questionable side, not entirely sure, you can give them a bit of a thunk with your finger. Breyer collectors test the difference in stablemate. We know the difference between tonite and styrene by doing the same feel or touch test. If you thunk a cold cast porcelain, it will thunk. They are solid and they are heavy. If you do the same thing to the porcelain, the fine porcelain, they clink. That's why we call them clinkies, clinky collectors, because when you touch them, they will clink. They also feel cooler in the hand, but that's just a feeling. So if you pick them up, it's heavy and it thunks. It's cold cast porcelain, needs to be handled a little differently. I personally do not display mine because of the weight. Sham's already got wonky enough legs. The last thing I need to do is that weight to make them even more wobbly. The porcelains I have on the shelf. There have been porcelains displayed for a very long time. They do just fine. So, like I said, know your difference. If something's advertised as cold cast porcelain, it is essentially a resin with a little extra porcelain powder in it. If it's advertised as fine porcelain, it's going to be sturdy, high-fired, and long-lasting. Hope you enjoyed that and learned something. I will peruse my collection for some more interesting factoids, so join me again next time and we'll learn something else. Thanks.